Hello gentlemen, today I'm going to break down a free defensive mini scheme for you out of big nickel over G, otherwise known as the 4-2-5 over G formation. I'm bringing this to you guys because you got my video to 500 likes. It was my nickel 3-3-5 penny blitz, so thank you for that. You guys did that in like a day, which is insane. And if you guys want me to give you a free offensive mini scheme, let's get this video to 750 likes and I will drop a free offensive scheme for you guys. But as for this formation, this is going to be found in the actual Texas playbook. One of the issues a lot of people had with the 3-3-5 penny is that, yes, Texas is really good at running it, but they don't actually have it in their playbook. So I wanted to give you guys something that is actually in the Texas playbook. And what I'm going to do real quick is post a screenshot of all the teams that have big nickel over G, which is a lot of them. And that's another reason I wanted to break this down, just because it's widely available in a bunch of different playbooks. And the last thing I want to mention before I get into the breakdown is that we are going to be posting another ebook on acemeta.com very, very soon. Probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. It just kind of depends if I can manage to finish it. I have quite a bit to do, but as soon as this video goes live, I'm going to be working on it. So if you're a member, be on the lookout for it. If you're not, go sign up. You'll gain access to everything we have on the site, and you will become a much better college football player. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the personnel. It's going to be really hard to show it at the play call screen because of the way that they did this. Like, these are not the players that I have in. So let me go ahead and call a play and then just kind of go through it there. Let's call it 2 high. We'll do SS Blitz 2. And I just want you to pay attention to what each player is. So I have Muhammad at my cornerback 1, Williams, Mukaba, Holmes. This guy is Phil Saim. I don't know how to say his name, but he's 96 speed. He's just a freak. And then we have Hill at linebacker, Gillette, and then we have Moore at left end, Akana at right end, Burke at defensive tackle, and Sorrell at defensive tackle as well. Okay, so let's start with our base blitz, which is going to be SS Blitz 2. This is going to be pretty much the same blitz, and we have a cover 0 version right here, SS LB Blitz, and then we have a cover 3 version with SS Blitz 3. We're going to talk about all three of these very briefly, but the point is they're all pretty much the same in regards to getting the pressure in. So let me make that very clear. You can call all three. So we're going to start with SS Blitz 2, and I'm going to show this against multiple formations because there's a couple formations that it's going to be really bad against and some that it's going to be really good against. But we'll go ahead and start right here with gun doubles, just kind of a basic shotgun formation. And the setup is going to be show blitz. You don't have to, technically. This is optional, but I think it's recommended. So wire triangle and then RB for show blitz. Shift your defensive line away from your slot cornerback. So find your slot cornerback wherever he is. He's right here. So we're going to shift our defensive line to the right. So D-pad left, left stick right. We're going to open the defensive line menu again, D-pad left, and then right stick up to slant outside, crash outside, whatever you call it. And this is what your play is going to look like. And this is going to come in oftentimes because of the fact that we have quick jump. That is a small caveat. You know, the blitz is still going to work without quick jump. It's just not going to be quite as good. And that's kind of the story with quick jump. You know, it's going to make a lot of things look even better. But what you're looking for is getting your quick jump to engage with a tackle, and somebody, if not two people, are going to come free. Now let's go ahead and talk about the cover 0 and the cover 3 just to kind of show you it's going to be the exact same for both of them. They're pretty much the same thing. And then we're going to jump into different formations that, you know, might give this trouble. So same setup. And we're going to see that in this case, you know, this linebacker here that you're using is blitzing. I would put him on a zone. That way you can switch if you really have to. So let's take a look. You're going to see there is the pressure. So that's the cover 0. Now let's go to cover 3. And the play call for that is going to be SS Blitz 3. And this is a very easy setup. All of you should be able to do this. And just like that. So we kind of took a wide path there for some reason, but we still got that free rusher. So what I'm going to do now is show you what these blitzes look like against different formations, because certain formations are going to just kind of mess it up, or it's going to be harder to run the blitz against. And I don't want you guys to be confused as to why your blitz isn't working the same way as mine. And I'm just going to show you what's going on. So we're going to come out and stack Y off because I know this is going to give this one an issue. And the reason for it is, so we'll do the same setup. Pay attention to the slot cornerback. Watch what happens. You notice how he gets jammed, or he jams before he blitzes. That's not what you want. So this is optional. Well, I guess it's not technically optional if you want the blitz to come in, but what I would recommend doing is moving him in to right about here. And now what's going to happen is it is now going to come in. So just knowing little things like that, you know, if your slot cornerback is getting bumped, you know, he might be taking a weird path. He might just be taking way too long to come in. And the solution is just bring him in. As soon as you see that pass rush point above him, that blue square, you're good. You can get off of him. And just like that, there's your pressure. Another type of formation that's going to give this a hard time would be an empty or something that's just really spread out. And that's because your blitzing slot cornerback is going to be further out. So this can, of course, still come in. In this case, you know, you're going to shift away from the slot cornerback and crash up. And it will come in, but it's not really that good. I would say if you leave the slot cornerback where he is. And then honestly, just bringing him in is just, it's not ideal in my opinion. So against empty, I would say maybe not use it. I would actually rely on double A gap or something if you do have it. If you have double A gap in your playbook, or double mug, that's what I would recommend. They come out an empty or something, because all you have to do is just like send the 6-man, use her the furthest inside guy, and just, you know, hopefully do a good job. You know, the guy's going to probably test your user. And most of the time, this inside guy is going on some kind of inside route anyways. It's kind of predictable. Sometimes he'll be on a corner route if they're switching it up or whatever. But this is what I recommend versus empty. If they really try to spread you out, I think double mug is going to be a better option than trying to make this big nickel over G work. Now let's talk about some coverage you can play, because obviously you're not going to just send 5 all game. That's way too predictable. So I'll talk about some shells you can do out of each of the blitzes, and then some general coverage you can play. So SS Blitz 2, and let's go back to doubles just to demonstrate this. And what I recommend doing is doing the same shift. We're going to make it look like the blitz. So shift away from the slot cornerback, crash your defensive line down. That's going to be the difference. Do not crash up, crash down. It's going to be better against shotgun runs and all that kind of thing. And also just a better pass rush when you're not sending the slot cornerback. We're going to put this slot cornerback in a outside third to his side. So in this case, to the left. So we're going to do outside third to the left. So left stick to the left. So it's going to look like that. I forgot to show blitz, by the way. We're going to put that safety that's on the same side as the slot cornerback into a middle third or inside third. So it should look like that now. And that's pretty much all you have to do. I would say that if you really want to, you can put that other safety into a third to the right. So it would look like this. It's going to be right stick to the right, or sorry, to the left. So this would be kind of a, whatever you want to call it, inverted cover 3, something of the sorts. It's going to do a really good job. And you see how good the sheds were? Like, the sheds are pretty crazy out of this. That's just a 4-man rush. We do have some demons on this defensive line, though. So don't expect all of the teams to get after the quarterback like that. Do it again. As you can see, pretty good coverage. And then our second coverage is going to be more aggressive. Really a lot more aggressive. And you'll see why in a second. But please give me the chance to explain why the shell looks like it does. So let's set it up. We're going to do show blitz. Shift away from your slot cornerback, crash down. That's going to help against the run. We're going to man up the slot cornerback to the slot receiver. We're going to outside third both safeties. So left side safety goes to the left, right side safety goes to the right. And then the final step is going to be shade your coverage down. And if you look at this shell, you're going to be like, Ace, this is the most idiotic shell I've ever seen in my life. Why are we leaving the deep middle wide open? And really the answer is, this is really not something you're going to run on an every down basis. This is going to be to catch your opponent off guard. You're going to pretty much blanket the short middle of the field, check downs, all that kind of thing. And all you have to do is watch the tight end. If the tight end doesn't go vertical, who's going to kill you right here anyways? Against this formation, at least. You know, there's some formations you might not want to run this shell against, but in general, just watch the tight end. If he goes vertical, run with him. And, you know, overall, everything was pretty much covered there. Let's have a look. But yeah, don't run this all the time. You just need to mix this in. But we have hard flats on the outside. That's going to be very baity. You know, they're going to throw at these hard flats constantly because hard flats on the outside are just kind of weird. We have a manned up, a shaded down man up on the slot receiver. He does get separation. But if he throws that, the hard flat on the right is going to help anyways. We have a shaded down hook in the middle of the field. And we have these outside thirds to help if the outside receivers go on streaks or something. So overall, we're conceding the deep middle, but we're kind of being smart about it. So I don't have a problem with it. Now let's talk about a coverage you can run out of LB Blitz, which is our cover 0 version of the Blitz. We'll go against a different formation this time. And remember, make everything look the same. We're going to crash down. We're going to zone our user. And now we have to put our slot cornerback into something. And what I would say is you probably want to put him into an outside third. So we'll do Y and then Y again, LB, and then left stick to the left and put him on this outside third. And what that's going to do is just kind of help on corner routes. It's going to help this guy right here. You know, if that guy goes on a corner route, which I think I have him on. Yeah, so I do. So let's see what it looks like. You're going to see that he's going to get kind of double teamed and just kind of support on that side. And that's really the adjustment that I recommend. I would say put him on that outside third. And that's all you have to do. Now, what you can do if you really want is, let's say that you're afraid of these guys over here getting beat to the outside, is you can do shade outside, so wire triangle, right stick outside, one to the right. You can do that. And then just kind of use it in the middle of the field. Get ready for anything coming inside. Now let's talk about SS Blitz 3. This is going to be the cover 3 version of our Blitz. And we're going to talk about coverage out of this. So what we're going to do for this one is show blitz, shift away from the slot, crash down. And with this guy here, you're going to drop him into coverage. Now, what you put him in, that's kind of up to you. Unfortunately, we can't really double Mabel unless we change our packages because all we have are like deep zones and man up pretty much. So, you know, unfortunately, if you're going to try doing a double Mabel, you would have to do something weird like this, where we have the outside cloud flat, the seam flat, and then the outside third. You know, you're at risk of getting seam streaked here, so I would not recommend it. What I would say is probably want to man him up and do it like this. This will be your most simple way to do it. If you change your packages, which I'll show you in a second, you can run the double Mabel, and that'll be a good option for you. But this is honestly the most simple thing you can do. Just man up. And then I actually like to use the seam flat on the running back side. And that's going to be your most basic way of playing coverage out of this. Now let's talk about how to double Mabel if you want to do that. So what you would do is you would change your packages to slot cornerback. Now we should have access to normal adjustments for our slot cornerback. So we have the seam flat, hard flat, curl flat, vert hook. I would say putting them on a vert hook is going to be really good. Or doing, you know, the hard flat and doing the double Mabel. And then we have match coverage. Now I'm not going to go in depth with match because first of all, it's broken in this game. It's not really consistent. And second off, that would take me forever to explain. What I do want to say though, is that Big Nick Lover G has a ton of different match coverages. So cover 4 quarters, cover 3 match, cover 4 palms. I guess technically SS Blitz 3 is technically match as well because it's a cover 3 blitz. Cover 6, cover 9. I don't think cover 6 invert is. I might be wrong. But yeah, that might be a quarter flat. So I think that is as well. At least part of it is match. Cover 3 buzz match. Cover 6 trap. There's just a ton of match in this formation. And what's nice about that is it can be confusing. Like your opponent might not really know what he's looking at. So let's call like cover 9, for instance. So let's just say, you know, you want to make it look like the blitz. We'll go ahead and do the same thing. And now you can just run this match coverage. And yeah, you might not know what's going on, but your opponent's not going to know what's going on either. So you might get a stop that way too. So just kind of be weird with it. Call a random match play. Don't call it all game because, again, you don't know what it's doing. So it could be broken very easily because match logic in this game is not very good. So again, do not spam it, but call it randomly, and your opponent will get confused sometimes, I promise. Now, here's a couple ways you can kind of vary your match coverage. So if you look at our zones, we have this quarter flat here, we have a 3-rec, we have a hook. So really the only ones that are like true match zones are these quarters over here, and then this quarter flat. So this is the match side over here. And you can kind of vary this. So if you shade your coverage down, you now have a hard flat instead of a quarter flat, which is nice. You're changing up how you're playing match. So now these two guys are playing match, and this guy's in a drop zone. So you can change it up like that, and then use this guy. And it's just kind of confusing. So I just wanted to point that out. While it's not something that I'm going to do an in-depth breakdown on right now, it's something that is usable in random situations. So that's going to finish my breakdown on the big nickel over G mini scheme. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Please drop a like. Remember, if you get to 750, I'll drop a free offensive scheme for you on YouTube for free. So drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and then if you're a member on acemeta.com, be on the lookout for a new offense as early as tonight, which is July 26th. It'll be tonight or tomorrow. See you guys in the next one.